Hi there, this is one of a series of short videos where we take a look at how you might have constructed a top answer to some exam style questions, including some of the questions that have appeared in real exams. And in this one we'll take a look at an analysis question, a 9-mark question for AQA A-Level Business from a couple of years ago, 2018, which caused students some difficulty. Let's take a look at the question. Here it was: analyse how introducing entrepreneurship can improve the financial performance of a business. 9 marks available for this one. Well, the key with AQA A-Level Business questions is to unpick the demands of the question. Typically there are 4 elements that you need to identify. If you spot these and respond to them, you're well on your way to getting a top scoring response. There's the start point, what the question is about, where you need to get to, the so-called end point. Then you also need to be careful by looking at the wording of the question to see what you need to focus on, and also the scope of the question, how many arguments are needed in order to respond in the way the examiner wants. Well, in this case, the start point for this question is entrepreneurship. There it is on the question at the top. How introducing entrepreneurship can improve the financial performance of the business. So this question is all about entrepreneurship. That's the so-called knowledge gatekeeper. Where do we need to get to, the end point? Well, we need to explain how and why entrepreneurship can improve the financial performance of the business, however we define that, financial performance. Looking at the wording, what we need to focus on is this word up here, how entrepreneurship could improve the financial performance of a business. So that is the key focus for the question. Not how introducing entrepreneurship might result in worse financial performance. We just need to focus on how it might improve it. How many arguments do we need? Well, this is singular. We're simply asked to analyse how it can happen, not analyse 2 ways. So in this case, the scope, how many arguments are needed, is 1. So just 1 paragraph, well argued, focus on the question, could get you between 7 and hopefully 9 marks. Well, we know we need to know what the question is about. In this case, entrepreneurship. This is the knowledge gatekeeper. If you didn't know what it was, you would struggle to answer the questions effectively, or the question effectively. So you may wish to pause the video just for a few seconds and maybe jot down what you understand by the concept of entrepreneurship. And I'll take you through it for a few seconds. It's all about where a business allows employees, managers, employees to be entrepreneurial, to actually have specific time and resources to come up with entrepreneurial activities, ideas, maybe new products, maybe new processes that work to the benefit of the business. That's entrepreneurship. It's similar to entrepreneurship, except it happens within the business. And typically when you look at entrepreneurship, 2 examples are often cited: Gmail and the PlayStation, which are both highly successful products that came out of entrepreneurship in the 2 respective businesses, Google and Sony. Well, at the bottom of the screen now, we've just highlighted how you need to approach this question. We know we only need 1 argument that explains how entrepreneurship leads to improved financial performance. Of course, there are lots of different arguments that you might put together for this. I'm just putting 3 of them there on the screen. Let's have a quick look at those. Entrepreneurship could encourage more risk-taking and therefore potentially higher profits. Yeah, it's not a bad point. That's a possible one to argue. What about the second one there? Employees are more motivated at work if they're given time to be entrepreneurial, and therefore more motivation may improve labour retention and could therefore reduce the costs of labour turnover, thereby improving profits. It sounds like a weak argument to me. It's relevant, but hard to argue effectively within the time. The third one, though, looks a bit more promising. Entrepreneurship is more likely to result in more innovation in the business, so an argument about innovation, thereby increasing revenues, potentially lowering costs and increasing profits, all of which would improve financial performance. That third one looks like a really strong argument that which we could get down on paper fairly quickly. So I've had a go at writing 1 argument, 1 paragraph point that has a go at using that. I'm being selective here. I've picked what I think is the easiest to argue, the clearest argument, in order to spend 6 or 7 minutes writing my point. Well, you might want to have a go yourself, in which case pause the video now and maybe have a go at planning that paragraph or writing it out, and thus we'll spend the rest of this short video having a look at my effort. Here it is. Again, you may want to pause the video, but we'll read through it just to see what it does, and I don't argue for a minute that it's perfect, but I'm pretty sure it will be a level 3 response to this question. We only need one paragraph. Entrepreneurship, where a business encourages entrepreneurial activities by employees as they work, can often lead to improved financial performance when it leads to more innovation. There's the point. Let's now explain it in context. So businesses like Google and Sony showed how by providing employees with time and incentives to search for innovative new product ideas, brackets product innovation, or cost-saving processes, brackets process innovation, so just showing a bit of technical understanding there of the two different types of innovation. Significant rises in both revenues and profits can be achieved. So we're making a link to improve financial performance, but then we're going to explain how and why. If employees are given time to be creative, new product ideas, new process ideas are more likely to be researched and developed, particularly if employees have incentives to come up with those ideas. The business can then analyse the most promising innovations using investment appraisal and the ones which suggest positive financial returns, so perhaps a high ARR or a positive MPV if we're using discounted cash flow, can then be backed or invested in by the business, thereby benefiting financial performance as those returns are achieved. So we've explained the how and the why of how greater innovation can lead to better financial performance as a consequence of entrepreneurship. I'm sure your paragraph effort will be just as good, if not better than that one, but hopefully you get the idea. Just one paragraph that was needed for that question in order to get to level 3, which is 7 to 9 marks out of 9. Well, hopefully you found that useful. Just a quick reminder, don't forget we run our Strong Foundations and most importantly the Grade Booster exam workshops, where we do a lot of this, a lot of unpicking questions and working on effective exam techniques. So I'll pop a link to that in the comments box below this video. And please by all means drop any comments or questions you have about this video in the comments box on YouTube. We'll try to respond to those. Hopefully you found that useful.